Chat, he alive, cuh. Dog. Chat, you want to talk? Dude, remember I told y'all 3 broken ribs? Nah, it was 4 of them things. It wasn't just 3 broken ribs. It was 4 of them. Literally. 4 broken ribs. All of them was in the back. Like, you know how you got front ribs and then back ribs? 4 of them things broke in the back, bro. Like back set of ribs. And then collapsed lung action. They got that thing reinflated, though. But chat, dude. Bro. First off, can't believe bro's even alive. I was the only person that was there that seen it. Bro, from my angle, thought he was gone, cuh. Thought he was dead. Bro, I didn't get to talk about it in detail. GG. Oh, GG. Oh, GG, I'm hacked. Yo, Isla with the 10 gifted. W Isla with the 10 gifted. Thank you. I asked him, I said, bro, what does broken ribs feel like? And we was like comparing it. You know how when you like do something really physically strenuous and you start to breathe in, there's like a real sharp pain when you go to breathe in and it hurts real bad. Like you run or something and it's something real physically strenuous. And then you try to breathe and it's like a sharp pain. He said it's like that every time he breathes. So every time he breathes, he's got to do like little shallow breaths. So it don't do that. But, yo, Remo with the 5, thank you. Bro, chat, no joke. From the angle that I peeped it from, dude, I thought he was dead, bruh. So peep this, right? Here's the hill. I want to take a picture of the hill and show y'all, but for some reason when you film or take a picture of like a hill on a camera, the camera doesn't do it justice at all. It looks regular. You know what I mean? Like you try to take a picture of a hill. And it looks like it's flat ground. Yo, Isabella with the 5, thank you. Draw it? Bro, how am I going to draw it? It ain't going to do it justice. Hold on. Let me see here. All right, let me see. All right, hold on. Man, is my PC frozen? Hello? Check, y'all hear me? My PC froze? Lord have mercy. All right. This is a 2D model of it. Obviously, it didn't happen in 2D. But this was a 2D. This will be a 2D model of it. But you'll get the gist of it. All right. So you got a hill. The hill's kind of built like this. No joke. The hill's built like this. This. And with another sketchier side on the other side. And as you can tell by looking at this, any non-crazy person would be like, yo, you can't make it down that. Which is what I did. I was like, I literally, no joke, Twizzler with the 5 gifted. And there was kind of like a little, this hump was there, but it was like a hump with like a gap in the middle, and it looked like his tires could go on it. Anyway, I'm standing here. You know, this me right here. I'm standing here. He's on his four-wheeler right here. Okay? Four-wheeler. He's on that thing. I walk up to it. I look at it. Or no, he calls me because I'm farther up the hill because we're looking for a trail to get to a certain. This was like a if you went fuller riding in the woods, you know, you usually stick to like a trail that's been cut.
We were like pioneering a never went down before trail. This was like, we're in the woods that ain't nobody set foot in since probably like 1,000 years ago, when they were like walking through the woods. I was farther up here. He calls me over. He's like, hey, it looks like we can get down over here. I come walking up. I look over this hill. I'm like, are you joking? Because this is a 2D version, but imagine on the backside of this, it looks more gnarly than this. Like, I told him, I'm like, bro, if you're going to flip, you need to be ready to jump off, because I thought he was going to flip over to the right. And if he would have flipped over to the right, you can jump off the four-wheeler. You know what I mean? So if you start flipping to the right, you jump off. But if you flip over front ways, you can't jump off. You just got to hope you don't die. So he didn't flip off to the right. He takes off down this hill right here. And when he gets to this point, which is the obvious problem, the front of his four-wheeler tire slips off. This is way farther down than it was. The hill is more like this tall. Also, keep in mind, just for perspective, this is a 20-foot hill. This isn't like, oh, he fell 5 feet. This is like 20 feet in the air. Literally like 20 feet in the air. This is a tree, which is what he broke his ribs on, by the way. This a tree. Right here, a tree. Okay? So what happened? Yo, MB with the 10 gifted, thank you. He starts going down. Right? When the front of his four-wheeler gets here, here's the front of his four-wheeler, right? Here's the four-wheeler. Here is him front flipping off the four-wheeler right here. Front flips off the four-wheeler down to the tree, hits up against the tree, breaks his ribs, and while he's down there, I see the four-wheeler come down on top of him, and the front of the four-wheeler lands on him and rolls over him, and the front of the four-wheeler's facing this way. And I thought he was dead. I'm like, dude, he's dead. Like, if you would have seen it, if you would have seen what I saw, it looked like a non-survivable situation. It looked like a non-survivable. I even told my mom, I said, if that would have been me, I would have died. Literally. I said, if that would have been me that did that, I'd have died. Because it looked like a non-survivor. And all I see, from my perspective, is I see him go over the hill, and then all I see is the bottom of the four-wheeler. And it's no longer on the ground. As he goes down, all I see is the bottom of the four-wheeler. So bro busted a complete front flip off a 20-foot hill, hit a tree, broke 4 ribs in the back. Then the four-wheeler landed on top of him. And if you've never seen a Can-Am Outlander 1000, that is one of the biggest four-wheelers in the world, if not the biggest one. Let me just give you a perspective of what it was. The four-wheeler that landed on him from literally like 20 feet up. Hold on real quick. Let me see one that's good perspective. Decent perspective here. Okay, hold on. This thing right here. This is literally the exact four-wheeler except in red. The exact four-wheeler. Matter of fact, this is the exact four-wheeler that I was on. He was on the exact same one except in red. I'm talking big dog four-wheeler. Big dog. This a big dog right here. Came crashing down. I seen it. It didn't land on him like sideways. The front of it like hit him and rolled over him. I would die. That's literally what I said. That's quite literally what I said, is that I would die. Literally. I thought he was gone. So he's laying down here. And if, obviously, judging from this story, my dad has been hurt many times in my life. Many times. This isn't like a one-off scenario. He almost died a couple months ago on some skis. Y'all remember the ski story, chat? Y'all remember when I was pulling him behind the boat with the skis? And he like ripped the back of his like hamstring off? That legitimately happened like 2 months ago. Had to go to the hospital for that too. You know what else happened to him? You know what else happened to him like a week or so ago? He stepped off of a ledge and fell 10 feet onto some rocks. Bro's out here trying to die. That's literally what I told him. When he hit the ground and I realized he was moving, I'm like, bro, you trying to die on me? You know what I mean? Yo, Arwa with the 5, Alina with the 5. And when I called my mom and I said, hey, Dad's hurt bad, I put him on speakerphone. She literally said, I said, are you trying to die? Like my mom just typed in the chat, said, trying to make me a widow. And it seems like it. Anyway. So, bro hits the tree. And here is the craziest, you know one of the craziest. I can laugh about it now. Because he's all right. That first night it happened, though, there wasn't no jokes to be had. Literally no jokes to be had. I was even telling him, bro, I'm like, man, I can't wait till you're in the clear so I can make jokes about this. The craziest part of all of this, you know, my dad looks like Mr. Clean. He ain't got no hair or nothing. He had his reading glasses on the top of his head. He fell off a 20-foot cliff, broke 4 ribs, and collapsed a lung, and the 4-wheeler landed on top of him. His glasses stayed on his head. How? I don't know. So, dude, directly after it happened, I hear him down there like, you know when you get the breath knocked out of you, you can't do nothing but like sit there and like groan, like, ah, 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 ah. That's all I heard from the bottom of the hill. And I'm like, okay, I've seen this dude get hurt many times in my life, and only a couple times has he ever made that noise. When he got hurt, that's how I know something's bad. Alina with the 5 gifted, thank you. I come down the hill, and by the time I got down the hill, I walked down it, and by the time I got down the hill, bro was up walking around. I'm like, how are you up walking around? He had an adrenaline dump or something. Bro was up walking. Keep in mind, he's fresh off of 4 broke ribs and a collapsed lung. Walking around. Only Cheeks with the 5, thank you. So at this point, keep in mind how big the Can-Am Outlander was. The Can-Am Outlander's on its side. And we need to get it flipped back over so we can get out. It was almost nighttime too. It was looking bad. Like, we were so far off in the woods that if he wouldn't have been able to get himself out, it'd have been a med flight situation. No joke, it'd have been a med flight situation. Because there was no vehicle that could get to that point except 4-wheelers. Anyway, gets up, and here is where the RV there yet meme comes in. Bro. Yo, Dash with the 5 gifted, thank you, and Jessica with the 5 gifted, thank you. I have my whole life been driving 4-wheelers. There has never been a spot to where it has been like RV there yet in real life. But as you can see, we're at the bottom of like a 20-something foot hill. There was multiple, and there was 2 vertical for him to drive out of there. So what'd we do? We got that winch out. We winched to one tree, like half, we didn't go up the same hill. To put in perspective, Yo, Hook with the 10. Thank you, Hook with the 10. W winch, bro. To put in perspective, we couldn't winch up the same hill he went down because it was too steep. That's how steep the hill that he went down was. So we're in like a ravine down here. It's sort of like a ravine with a creek running through it. We had to find a slightly less steep one. We winched to 3 different trees to get out of this gully down here. Some straight up RV there yet stuff. We'd winch up to a tree a quarter of the way up the hill. He'd hold the brake down. I'd get the winch tied to another tree. He'd hold the brake down. I'd hand the winch to my mom. She tied it up to the third tree. Winched out of there. Bro was somehow able to get out of there. Chat, adrenaline is a crazy thing, bro. No joke. Adrenaline is absolutely insane. Yo, 4 with the 5, thank you. You can be in a absolutely snapped up situation and somehow be able to get yourself somewhat out of it before the pain really starts setting in. And you know what's crazy? When we got out of there and got to the crib, he was saying, nah, I don't need to go to the hospital. He was saying, I'll go to the hospital if y'all want me to. I said, what? What you mean? He said, well, if y'all are worried about it, I guess I'll go to the hospital. He said, if it would have happened to you, you wouldn't have went. I said, I don't know, cuh. That's bad. So what happened? I said, all right, give it like an hour. If you feel bad in an hour, you need to go to the hospital. Because if you fall off a 20-foot cliff and a four-wheeler lands on you, that is a situation to where, one, I don't know how you're alive. Two, something had to snap somewhere. Like it had to have. This wasn't a situation that you come out of uninjured. It was like it was a absolute injured situation by any regard. So they went to the crib. My mom calls me literally 5 minutes later. Hospital time. And I'm glad bro went too, because he had 4 broke ribs and a collapsed lung. Bro. Crazy. But he back at the crib now. They reinflate it. Bro, it's so... They gotta like run a tube up in you and stuff and get it like reinflated. It's so weird. That happened on Friday. Bro back at the crib. Got him yesterday. Brought him back. Yep. But W-Dad, though, it was scary. Chat, I'm talking scary. Oh, it's still 25% collapse, but it should heal. Okay, yeah. They sent him home. They said the rest of it should, like, reinflate itself without, like, a tube or anything like that. It's crazy, though. I told him, I said, dude, because, chat, when I tell y'all, when I was up here beside the four-wheeler, I was standing here beside him. I said, bro, there is absolutely no way you're making this. He said, yeah, we'll watch. I was pretty much begging him not to go down the hill. I said, dude, no. I'm like, no. Because you know when you're riding a four-wheeler or something, you see a hill that looks sketchy, but it looks doable. It's like, okay, this is going to be kind of sketchy, but this is makeable right here. You know what I mean? This is one of those hills that's like, dude, no. 4 broken ribs later, bro, I'm telling you. And that's why I told him when he gets better, we're going to go back out there to that hill, and he's going to re-look at that hill and be like, dude, what were you seeing? Because I seen it. And the crazy part is, earlier when we were riding around, he almost flipped before that. He almost flipped 3 times this day. He went up on 2 wheels one time, and there was another little thing he went down there, he almost flipped over front ways. And then did this after all that. It's like bro was not leaving the woods without a catastrophic injury that day. He wasn't. And I tried, bro, I tried to stop him. I did. If you guys go back to that hill, he's going to want to do it again. No, he's not. I can absolutely guarantee you he's not. You have to be legitimately
Dude, I don't even think Travis Pastrana would look at that hill and be like, yeah, I'm going to go down this hill. Seriously. If I took Travis Pastrana on a four-wheeler to that hill, I think Travis Pastrana would look at it and be like, no, I'm not going down this hill. That's how bad it is. It was like guaranteed death. like, bro. The amount of people saying who is absolutely disgusting, by the way. The amount of people saying who is crazy. Never heard of him. He's the first, just a long story short, he's the first person to do a double backflip on a dirt bike. But yeah, chat, that's the story. He's good though. Show us the cliff. Bro, like I said, I want to go take a picture of the cliff and show y'all. But, bro, it's not going to look like anything because for some reason cameras don't pick up, like, cliffs on camera. It looks like flat ground. I don't know why. But W-Dad, though, he's all good. I did think he was gone. Dude, the worst part is when you're waiting for, like, the CT scan to come back. That was the most stressful part right there, is waiting for the CT scan to come back. It's like, bro, you know what I mean? Just built different. Just built different. Like my dad's dad. Bro, you know what happened to my dad's dad when he was like a teenager? My dad's dad got ran over by a combine tractor. Split him in half. When he was 15 years old. My grandpa, he is 80, he's late 80s. He has a scar from here all the way down the middle of his body. He got ran over by a literal combine. The whole wheel went over him, and he's alive. Just built different, bro. I don't know. Just built different. Telling you, bro. And I'm talking about a combine. I'm not talking about like a little tractor. I'm talking about one of them big John Deeres you see out in the field. Bro was getting out of it, tripped, fell, and it ran him smooth over. Lived. Crazy thing is, we was talking about that. Bro, the crazy thing is, that happened like in the 50s. He survived that back in the 50s. They literally cut him in half. Cut him in half long ways. And I remember my dad said he had like so much internal bleeding back then, they had to poke holes in the side of him to let the blood drain out. Survived it. Survived it, bruh. He's still alive to this day. He's late 80s. Walk around, go fishing and everything. Telling y'all, bruh. I'm telling y'all. Family full of aura farmers. Dude, not me. I'm scared of that. I looked at this hill right here. I looked at this hill. I said, no, you could never, ever convince me to do that. Could never convince me to, because I'm scared of that stuff. Don't follow in their footsteps and do something crazy. I promise you I ain't. You ain't gonna bro, if something happens to me on a four-wheeler, it's because like a deer or a bear attacked me. I'm not gonna go down one of these hills right here. No joke. A deer? Yeah, bro, a deer run out on you? Like, if you're going fast enough through the woods and a deer runs out on you, you be gone. You ended the aura chain of your family? Bro, what? None of this was even intentional. What you mean? But this, you know what the crazy part is? I was sitting here telling my dad, I was like, yeah, this is the closest you ever came to dying. He was like, well, I'm like, what do you mean? Why is this a second guess
that this was the closest you ever came to dying. Like what you talking about? But yeah, he good now though. Hopefully, all he gotta do is wait for the lung and the dude. Can you imagine how bad it hurts having 4 broke ribs? Who in here's had broke ribs before, bro? I can't, dude. Having 4 of them things. Having 4 of them things, chat. He got to like sleep on the recliner because the bed hurts. You know? Your mom needs to keep your dad in a bubble. Nah, he does need to be in a bubble. I'm signing this. What you talking about? Nah, bro does need to be in a bubble though, for real.